What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Yamcast. Today is episode 64. The Yamcast could now be a Beatles song, which is so exciting. Today we've got news that mods might be illegal. You can't modify your motorcycle anymore, apparently. Pretty crazy. Ducati has got some strong sales figures we're going to take a look at. And also, we may have the most American of American bikes to have ever America'd in the form of a certain Indian we're going to talk about. Then we've got our Discord call in. We're probably going to do just a general Q&A today, have some fun with our Discord boys. And then we've got the meme contest. We're going to be roasting 600cc riders. I am technically on the chopping block here as a 675 owner, so we'll see if these memes are any good. Stick around. It's going to be a good one. Alrighty, Splite. What's our first bit of news for the day?
Our first piece of news has to do with this modifying your bikes could now become illegal. This is UK based, so all of you American riders out there who are like, not my bike, no,
my freedoms.
Yeah, this is not about you.
This is about our poor crumpet-eating compatriots over on the other side.
Yes. So this is something from their Department for Transport that says, quite literally, it would be a crime to tamper with a system, part, or component of a vehicle intended or adapted to be used on a road.
That's everything.
That's literally everything.
A system, part, or component of a vehicle intended or adapted to be used on a road. That's everything.
Mirror, bar end,
turn signal,
exhaust,
anything.
You literally would not be able to do a damn thing to your bike.
Yeah.
And they have this motorcycle action group that is trying to encourage everybody to respond to these proposals negatively to shoot it down before it happens.
Some of these are really stupid because, look, I get it from some perspectives. It's like, yeah, you don't want super loud exhausts on the street. It's a nuisance and it's bad for the environment. But some mods are so, pedestrian and just kind of silly, like a turn signal modification. It's like, as long as the turn signals are still on there, which they need to be for the regulations, right? What the is the difference? Well, what does it matter,
Yeah, and sometimes making a mod to your motorcycle makes them safer.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the VFR, when I had it, I had to put mirror wideners so I could actually see behind me.
Yeah.
Because my blinkers were in the mirror, and I'm not going to chop off a $200 mirror blinker combo. So I just put these extenders on so I could see around my shoulders.
Yeah, if we had this mod, it'd be like Honda would be like, well, modify your shoulders.
Yeah.
The bike is perfect. You are not.
Just go have somebody out back, bust your clavicle, and let it, put a belt around your arms. So this is pretty wild that they even thought that this was going to get off the ground at all.
Yeah, and it's also, I'm seeing this quote here, and I really agree. It's just this attack on the right to do with what you want with your own property, something you own. This is kind of going back to the thing you mentioned in your vlog and some of the other stuff we've been talking about, where it's like, what do you really own in this world, right? Like, did you buy a bike just so you can ride it around in this perfect way, or do you own something that you can change and modify as you see fit to fit what you need it to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine in a world where, you can't modify your supermoto with knobbies or something else like it to make it more adventure-y because you can't change the bike. You got to go buy another bike.
You have to have OEM only stuff.
Yeah.
And, what if the OE just doesn't make what you want?
Yeah.
Which
is pretty common, honestly.
Very rarely do OEs have... Harley is probably the best in terms of having, like, a deep catalog of stuff that actually changes your bike.
Yeah.
But, like Honda, no. You're not going to get power parts from Honda.
Yeah.
And KTM, you're just going to get $1,200 exhausts.
Yeah.
That barely sound any louder than stock.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is pretty wild.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping our motorcycling friends over in the UK push back against this, because y'all already have to deal with a lot more regulations than we do, and to have the government or whatever body this is enforcing this to just say you can't modify your bike at all, it's a bit silly. And again, we're not saying that you should be able to do whatever you damn well please to your motorcycle. We'd end up with Gixxer 250s everywhere like we've got, It's a miracle. Honestly, it's like we live in the polar opposite here in America, where you and I can ride down the street with that bike and nobody hassles us.
Yep.
Like, we rode it 40 miles out to this like off-road area and nobody said anything.
And we broke it and left it in a bush.
Yeah, well, that's because we live in the freewheeling, rootin' tootin' land of Texas. It's a little different here. But yeah, we're not saying that you should be able to do whatever you want to your bike. I don't want to hear open header bikes flying by my house late at night or anything like that. But come on, man, you can't do anything. Come on.
And it's just they're saying here that it's seen as one more important step to the self-driving car world, and that's like a nightmare fuel thing for me, because that's when cars become a subscription, and you need to pay for the extra tier so you don't have to share your car with anybody else.
Yeah.
And then you actually don't own it. You just pay to use one. You have a license to a car.
Yeah.
And that's actually kind of horrifying.
It is, yeah. And I'm reading this quote here, and it says, "The safety of autonomous vehicles is entirely reliant on the system doing as expected, especially when it's interacting with other self-driving vehicles. If someone was to modify the hardware or software, the vehicle could behave unexpectedly and disaster could ensue." But that's in a world where every single vehicle is self-driving and can speak to other self-driving vehicles, where a lot of these autonomous vehicles in the near term are going to have to deal with human drivers and probably be a more robust system to just work around that in the first place, Yeah,
and I mean, you should still be allowed, as long as you own your Tesla, to put whatever you want in your Tesla, insofar as you're not, like, trying to hack the software.
Yeah.
You should be able to, do little things to make your Tesla yours.
Yeah.
Even if you don't really own it, because you got to get a software update every couple of months.
Yeah.
So you should still be able to do, within reason, whatever you want.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like the sound of this at all.
No.
I really, between the hybrid versus 650 from last week and now this, I'm like, where is this world going, Spite?
It's got hardly the world I recognize.
There's no more room for us anymore.
Nope.
We're getting squeezed out. Us humble motorcycle enthusiasts here getting pushed out by big tech and people not wanting to modify their vehicles. Tell you what, though, I hope in the future there will always be closed circuits where you can do whatever the hell you goddamn please, because they can't take that away from us, right? Come on.
I mean, maybe someday.
Yeah. You
got to know that all those tracks that have neighbors around them, absolutely, the neighbors love having that track there.
Yeah.
It's that they don't mind the noise at all.
The day that there's no more gas vehicles and I can't go to a closed circuit is the day I just grab the noose and I just go, all right, I'm gonna head out, and I just just call it a day. I don't want that.
Nope.
I don't want that at all. Let's move on to more positive news, though.
More positive news. We have Ducati is crushing it this year. So they have made more in 9 months than they did all year last year. Not surprising.
Yeah.
But they're on track to beat 2019, which was their last normal year, which that's pretty damn good.
That is. Yeah.
So I guess a lot of people are buying Ducatis right now. And we have some numbers a little bit further on down here that say that their largest single market remains Italy, with almost 8,000 motorcycles delivered so far this year. United States takes second place, with a declining trend having stopped.
Yep.
And third place goes to Germany.
Okay.
It's kind of an interesting spread.
It is. And it's also crazy how small these numbers are versus the big four kind of manufacturers,
Yeah.
Like, I think Yamaha has sold something to the tune of like 100,000 MT-07s, like, since they started it,
I can totally see that.
I think it was something like, I read a statistic where it's like Yamaha sells more of certain models than Ducati sells of all their bikes,
I could totally believe that.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy, but I love seeing Ducati doing well, but I'd love to see, if we have the data on this, which were the most popular models that they sold and which ones really led the way.
2021 sales have been led by Multistrada V4s.
Oh, that probably pads the bottom line real nice.
Yep. Next were the Scrambler 800s.
Yeah.
And then the Street Fighter V4 and Monsters.
I am surprised that the Multistrada V4 and the Street Fighter V4s are that high up pushing the sales, because for a long time, the Scramblers were kind of Ducati's bread and butter and actually letting the company do a lot of cool stuff. They were the Porsche Macans to the Porsche 911s, you know, of Ducati, right? They were the thing that was allowing them to do a bunch of cool stuff.
I have a feeling that this new Multistrada was basically the iPhone 13, where everybody needs to run out and trade their old model in for the new one.
I mean, I could see that if I was a diehard Multistrada twin-cylinder guy, there's like, dang, they made them want the 2 extra cylinders. Gotta go get it.
It's the double L twin. I need to have that.
I need the double L twin. And I mean, I see it on our Ducati Austin Instagram page that I follow here for our local dealership. I mean, every other week I see some old fart with the new Multistrada V4. They sell a lot of them.
I mean, I understand it because it's a dad barge.
Yep.
That's kind of all it is. And all they want to do is they want to bust out their dad barge every, other weekend and go cruise with other dads in their Ducati shirt and Ducati jacket, the Ducati helmet.
Yep. I think, for being a company that was on the brink of death several times, it's great to see Ducati doing well.
Yep.
I love to see it. And I think they're going to keep doing well because it seems like they've really figured out, what their place in the market is and what they're trying to do. Like the new Monsters is an interesting offering. Mm-hmm. They've got so many scramblers sorted out.
That new scrambler looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, the Urban Motard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool little bike.
For a second, I thought it was going to be just a sled with 17s, and then I got sad because it had lowered suspension.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
Yeah. It's funny, one of my local guys at Ducati Austin, I was talking to him about the sled, and he mentioned how when he had his, he was like, I thought about just like chucking 17s on it. And I was like, I thought about that too. And he was like, yeah, but it's like a whole pain in the ass to try to like actually make that work and get the wheel and the rotors and everything. But I was like, what would it feel like with 17s and sticky rubber? I think it'd be a really fun bike.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Just be like a heavy supermoto.
Yeah, the really heavy supermoto. It's like 450 pounds of supermoto.
I mean,
it's like the chubby dad that comes back to play football. You're like, he's a little big to be doing that.
Isn't the Hyper heavy? I mean,
the Hyper's heavy. The Hyper's like 430 or something,
yeah.
But it makes like 120 horsepower. Yeah, so you don't really care.
It's fast.
It feels so good. The Hyper's awesome. You should ride one. They're a lot of fun. I like it. But yeah, we see here it says, overall, Ducati reported delivering 49,693 motorcycles to consumers in the first 9 months of 2021. That's a lot of bikes, man.
50,000 ducks.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of Ducatistas right there.
It's a lot of freshly minted and returning and continuing Ducatistas. They're everywhere. They're among us.
I wonder how many of those are returning riders versus new Ducati owners.
Yeah.
What do you think the spread is off top of your head?
I would say it's 50-50.
Really?
I think so, yeah. Because I think a lot of guys stay in the brand and get a different bike. But the one thing Ducati doesn't really have is like stepping stones.
Yep.
Triumph didn't have that before they had the Trident 660, but Ducati still doesn't really have a bike for the entry-level rider right now.
The only one they have is the 400cc Scrambler.
Yeah. I suppose. Yeah,
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're stuck at the Scrambler 800, which is 75 horsepower and 50 foot-pounds of torque, and that's right on that bleeding edge. And it's expensive.
It is expensive, yeah. I think a lot of people who get their first Ducati, it's their second bike. I don't unless you're kind of crazy, you don't normally get one as your first.
They used to have the 696,
the
Monster 696. That was a good one.
They should just bring that back.
Yeah, they should.
Just sell an air-cooled Monster with a 700-ish cc V-twin. Clean up shop. Boom.
Yep. Instantly put down the SV650 and finally shut up the insufferable SV650 people.
Yeah, we'll see if Suzuki's going to do anything with the SV650 now that we've got the R7 and the Z650 RS, all these new options, but they're probably just going to get a bold new graphics on it.
Bold new graphics, I was just about to say.
Yep.
So I think that's the pretty bright star from Ducati right now.
Yeah. To give a bit of context, someone on chat here dropped it. Chris Hansen says Honda sells about 1 million bikes annually in Thailand. That's insane numbers.
Shit.
Yeah. So this is like just a drop in the motorcycling bucket, you know?
That is crazy.
That's just in Thailand.
I wonder what...
Imagine like all of Europe.
I wonder what the value of Ducati sold versus the value of Honda's sold is. I still feel like it would be just wildly tipped in Honda's favor.
For sure. Like Yeah, there's no comparison. Which makes it all the more cool and interesting that despite all those resources, Ducati has a better GP bike right now.
Yep. I mean, there's going to be 8 people gritting up on the Ducati next year.
But you know that after all this embarrassment that Honda's had, this offseason, they're going to throw like thousands of people at this problem.
They are.
They're just like, no, we will come back. We will destroy all of you.
They got to the point where Marquez was talking bad about the bike.
Yeah.
And when you get there, you done fucked up.
Yeah, because that boy can ride anything.
So.
Yeah. But, good news here for Ducati. Love to see it in the motorcycling industry. But we've got a bit of a weird one for our last one, right? Our last bit of news.
So this is painfully American right here. Jack Daniels and Indian have been making a couple of special edition motorcycles.
Oh, boy.
And I love the words here in the first 2 lines. Indian have unveiled a Jack Daniels limited edition Challenger Dark Horse that is so much more than just a fancy paint job. The new bike brings with it a host of top-notch, brand new tech. Oh, and it comes with a free rug. What more could you want?
The rug bit really gets me. Like, what? A rug? Do you think it's Jack Daniels and Indian branded, the rug?
Yeah, so they say down here, and like we said, each one comes with a free co-branded bike mat adorned with a bike corresponding number.
Gotcha. Okay. It's a bike mat. I thought it was like a rug for like your living room.
That would have been ridiculous.
I'm like, what? I'm like, how do you know how big my living room is? How do you know how big of a rug I need?
But this is I think they've made a Scout bobber in the Jack Daniels colorway.
Friggin' gold. Oh my god, dude. It's so tough because you want to root for the home team, but then the home team does this bullshit, and you're like, God, this is hard, man.
And so let's talk about the tech, because
what is the tech?
They're calling the new colorway Rye Metallic.
Oh God.
So it's basically just gold accents and just dehydrated trucker pea brown.
This is not doing any favors for the association we have of cruisers going to bars and getting drunk and jumping on their cruisers and adding to the statistic of dads dying without wearing helmets.
Yep.
Having your Jack Daniels branded Indian Challenger in front of the bar is not a good look, I would say.
How to announce to everybody you have a drinking problem.
Not good.
So, all right, here's the new tech that they've got. For a start, the bike has the new upgraded power band audio sound system with 50% boost in noise.
What was the line you said earlier about how it was going to...
It was so you could inflict freebird on not just the living, but the dead.
I actually have a fun story about that. We were driving back from Sedona, my girlfriend and I, and there was some dude on a cruiser that blasted by us just like with the sound system. It was just so loud. And she was just like, why is he doing that? Why is the sound system like so loud? Like, why does he think like that's okay? And I'm just like, they're just like that. Cruiser people they're just like that. No one can explain why. I was like, you can actually get just headphones in your helmet. I was like, but they don't wear helmets, so that won't help them, Like, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, how do you tell someone it's like, you can just listen to it on your cardo in your helmet? And they're like, I don't wear helmets. I was like, well, can't help you.
There's your problem.
There's your problem. Now I have to listen to your butt rock.
Yep. But that's the point. They want everyone to know that they're as free as everybody else.
That's not free. You're infringing upon my rights. I'm trying to walk down the street, man. Off.
So the next thing comes with a fancy adaptive lighting system, which now has 15 individual LED lenses that adjust in real time to bike lean and angle, while fully adaptive beam shines bright whether you're upright or in a banked turn. So adaptive lighting, which has been in motorcycles forever.
Yes.
Great, Indian. And then last of all, we've got Fox electronic suspension, which can adjust preload electronically from the ride command system in the dashboard. Again, something that everybody else, including Harley-Davidson, already has.
Yeah. The big thing about this bike is that pretty spicy price tag that I'm seeing right there.
33,395 pounds.
Yeah, so that's nearing 40 G's American, right? come on, man.
That's a lot of money for
a bike.
For this bike.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
I think you're a cruiser guy. Does that have curb appeal to you? Is that
This is a different kind of cruiser world for me. This is like big wheel bagger territory here.
Yeah.
I don't interact with this particular echelon of cruiser folk. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine this actually does have crazy good curb appeal, because when we were at Sturgis, the Harley Footprint, they had this Arctic Blast road glide, which was, white with blue, and they were talking about how crazy the paint job was and how it was like super duper expensive.
I
and
thought
blah,
they would
blah,
have
blah.
just glued 5 gum all over it, for
I
the
know.
Arctic Blast flavor.
But it was, it was just this big gaudy cruiser.
Yeah.
And, they look just like this.
It's difficult for me to conjure up anything more American than that thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a Stars and Stripes and Skulls Buell. That's pretty American,
The only thing this needs to be even more American is it needs the Punisher skull.
Oh.
You put the Punisher skull on the back of your bags, you're done.
Yeah, but then you're going to tell all the leather daddies at the bar that you're very interested,
Yes.
Like you're into that stuff, Anyways, getting off into a whole other topic here with this. Cool for the co-branding, I suppose, but definitely not our cup of tea here for the Indian Jack Daniels collab.
No.
Yeah, not really something that we're super interested in, but I guess it's cool to see. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Harley Davidson F-150.
Yep.
Where you're just like, why does that exist? And you're just
Reasons.
like, okay.
Because the people who can afford to buy the Harley Davidson F-150 can also afford to buy a Harley Davidson to put in the back, because when the Harley breaks down, they need a truck to haul it to the dealership.
Absolutely. And then they try to load it up and the tailgate just snaps. They're like, why are you trying to load up something that weighs 800 pounds? Come on, man. It's not going to work. I think that's going to round out our bit of news today. Pretty decent bit of news. And now we're going to move on to the call-in portion of the podcast. Stick around. Alrighty, folks, welcome to the call-in portion of the podcast. This is the chance for the Discord boys over on yamanoob.co to chime in and hang out with us and talk to us and ask us any fun questions that they may have. Today we're doing a general Q&A, so for the folks over at home, press and hold Spite's name on Discord and you will be connected with us to chat. So let's get started.
Alrighty, starting us off today, we have Millennial Malaise. If you're looking at all of those.
Hey there, Millennial Malaise. You are on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. How about yourself?
Good, good. We're doing a general Q&A today, so what have you got for us?
Yeah, just kind of like, I wanted to add my thoughts on sort of like that news that you had in terms of like making mods illegal and such, and like kind of bikes moving to like that sort of like subscription service and like DLC tech packages and stuff like that. I was just wondering if you think that sort of move by the market would kind of like create like sort of a hacker culture for bikes, because I know like a lot of these things that have started to incorporate sort of this technology, there's become a pretty vibrant community of people who crack them and do all sorts of fun stuff with their bikes.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that in a world where it's like illegal or difficult to modify motorcycles. You'd have sort of an underground that would allow for that to happen, because the people who ride them would still want them to be modified and want to do stuff to them. I guess it'd kind of be like, I don't know, maybe like jailbroken phones or something like that, or something,
I mean, the only thing that you would be able to do that wouldn't instantly get you caught is software stuff.
Yeah.
And even then, you'd need to, when you go to the dealership, you'd need to be like, all right, I need to put it back in unjailbreak mode so that the dealership people don't rat me out.
Yeah.
So I don't really think it'll do that, honestly. I feel like that's mostly I bought this computer, but I want it to run a different OS kind of thing. So they break in. I don't think you can really do that with a vehicle.
You know what it might do? It might happen to where people really only run and buy older bikes that maybe are not subject to this law.
Assuming there's a grandfather clause.
Yeah, if there's a grandfather clause. But
I wonder too if it's like one of those things where you would have like an ECU unit or something with like a different flash that you would disconnect when you go to take it to the dealer. And I don't know, like I was thinking because I think like for a lot of us, like the motorcyclists like have been trying to get that mainstream appeal, but I wonder if this kind of like jailbreak your bike kind of deal would kind of create like a motorcycles as like an outlaw kind of vibe.
Yeah, maybe to go back to the old days where bikers were outlaws and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think if there is penalty of fine or, even if it goes so far as jail time.
Death!
Thing, again, you're not going to be able to modify most motorcycles sneakily.
No.
Service departments would be obligated to report you.
Yeah.
So maybe that would... The best thing I could see it doing is creating like underground garage type, almost like parlors from Prohibition.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where you go to get your work done. It's some dude, you slip him a couple $100 and be like, all right, I've got this mod, do my valves, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I want is my cool underground cyberpunk like motorcycle bar.
Maybe we're not too far from that. Yeah, and then we'll aesthetically be there in the future, but then we'll all still be sad because everything's subscription based. But
exactly.
Anyways, Millennium Ace, thanks so much for your call. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. I'm waiting on the limited edition Cocaine Snow Ducati after I've heard about the Indian collab.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Colombian Snow Ducati.
Great idea. We will pass it on to our Ducati contacts.
Exactly. They'd love that.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you.
Take care.
Alrighty, next up we've got Mr. Deegs.
Hey there, Mr. Deegs. You are on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. Today we're doing a general Q&A. What have you got for us?
All right, so just getting into biking. I'm up here in Michigan, so I'm kind of waiting until the spring comes around, the snow melts. So I'm kind of weighing out my options for bikes, and my coworker has kind of been leaning me towards the RS660. I know there's a risk there, being a beginner, but I mean, what are your thoughts? What are some things I should expect if I were to, so let's say, not obey your suggestions?
Yeah, so I think you'd probably have a little bit of sticker shock. I don't know what your budget looks like, but the RS is definitely an expensive motorcycle, not only to buy, but also to service, to maintain, to repair, to do all that kind of stuff to it. So I think that would be the number one thing for you as a beginner. I know a lot of beginners are a little more budget conscious when it comes to their first bikes. I think the second thing as well would be you would be a little overwhelmed once you kind of get it up in the power. We recently rode one around, and I just really don't think it would be a very appropriate beginner bike because it will kind of scare you a little bit, and it does make a good amount of torque down low. Spite, what do you think?
I think the kink in the power band might cause you to pucker your butt a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there's a serious kink in the power band at about 7,000 RPM where it just suddenly is like, all right, it's go time. And it really starts to move.
Oh, dang. Do you know about where in the power band exactly? Because I've tried looking at the sheets, but those things are so confusing to look at.
Yeah, it's about 5,000 or 6,000 RPM. Right around there, it does a kink, and you get a lot more juice out of it, and you actually really feel it.
Yeah, and
dang.
That can catch you off guard. Because I know when I first was riding it around, I was like, that feels weird, and then it's like, oh, it's fine, and then I got it up, and I was like, whoa, because it really does wake up significantly.
Gotcha.
Honestly, I would say if you're interested in that bike, maybe look at an R7 as well. You could check out SV650s. Those are both going to give you that twin-cylinder, torquey, fun flavor, but it's just not quite as hairy as an RS660. The RS is just a little too spicy, but that would be our recommendation. But if you're going to do it, definitely... does it have rain mode or something like that? It has power modes, right?
Yeah, it's got power modes.
I guess you could put it in a lower power mode and kind of feel around with it, but we really don't recommend that very often.
Okay. Yeah, because like I was telling my my coworker, he has the RS V4, and He was
Nice.
like, I think I'll throw you on a RS660. And I was like, okay. I mean, he's like, but it has like, so many electronics. Like you can like put it like all the way down when you first start and then slowly turn all the electronics off. And it's like, all right, I'll see.
That sounds like a big bike rider to me.
Yeah, I'll tell him you guys said that. But yeah, thanks for taking my call, guys. And I'll let you guys know by the spring if I pick that up.
Yeah, for sure. Best of luck, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
I feel like it's such a common line for big bike riders to be like, you can just turn the power modes down.
Yeah, it's like they don't remember what it was like when you're overwhelmed by a motorcycle and then you do this and it goes,
Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got Yammy Simp number 1.
Oh man, Yammy Simp number 1. You are on the Yamcast. I love the username. How's it going?
All right, man. How you guys doing?
Good. We're doing a general Q&A today, so whatever you got, we'll try to tackle it.
It's been a long time watching you guys. Sorry, I'm a little short of breath.
Oh, it's okay.
I just want to say thanks for all the videos. They really help in the hospital.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
Basically, I just had an accident with my bike on Friday.
Jeez, what happened, man? If you don't mind me asking.
Wet road, too much front brake. Not enough rear.
You healing up? You healing up okay, or?
I got 6 broken ribs.
Oof.
Ooh. Anyway, I don't want to bring up your past, but how did you manage to get back on the bike?
Yeah. So first of all, man, thanks so much for calling. I know it sounds like it's difficult for you to call in the first place, so I do appreciate it. Well, for me, it was hard. It was humbling. It was shameful in a lot of ways. It was difficult mentally, very horrible. It was just the point though I got to where I just realized that my life had very little meaning without motorcycles, and I felt like I needed to get back into it. I needed to do it again. And I kind of pushed past that fear and pushed past what I knew the risks are. And to be honest, I still feel those risks every time I ride. I can very viscerally remember what it was like going down that hard. And that keeps me grounded and in check when I do stuff on a motorcycle, and I can place my risk in a much more careful way nowadays. I don't really see myself getting into a situation like I got to back in the day again. I think it would be very odd if that happened. But yeah, for me, I just knew I couldn't live without motorcycles because it's, I know the risk, and for me, it's better to have that risk and live my life than to not. Despite if you have any feedback.
Yeah, I just ended up needing to get back on 2 wheels. Like, it was just, I had a visceral withdrawal symptom almost of where I was like, I had to get on a motorcycle and had to twist the throttle again. I just had to do it.
Yep. But the important thing for you right now, man, is I would say just concentrate on healing up, feeling better, and then, think about it and worry about getting back on when the time is right. I took a long time to get back on. I was 18 months off the bike until I was ready to jump back on.
Took that long?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Like, I just don't want to get back on the bike and be scared of it. No.
Yeah, I mean, those first couple rides, you're going to feel a little more, weird about it, but eventually you settle back into normalcy with it.
No, I'm not gonna I'll make this don't worry, I'm not worried about things to watch. It's just this just weren't
Thanks a lot for the advice, guys.
Yeah, man. Heal up good, and thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a somber reminder that the risk is real, guys. Ride safe out there. It's always a risk.
Next up, we've got BD Ralph, who submitted a question here for us.
Okay. BD Ralph says, would you rather ride a Harley trike through Yellowstone National Park or drive a slingshot three-wheeled car all through Austin a night? Yes, you'll be playing music continuously for everyone to hear. Both of those don't sound great, I'm not going to lie. But since I am already in Austin, I think I'll take the Harley trike through Yellowstone.
Yeah, probably me as well. The only problem is the trikes. When I was in Sturgis, man, the trike people. The trike people are like horrendous riders.
Oh, yeah.
So
they need 3 wheels, right?
Yeah, I would endeavor to not be one of those dudes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if it was a dude on a trike or not, but there was definitely somebody when I was out going through Iron Mountain who had no shirt on and was drinking a beer out of his cup holder.
Oh my God.
On his Harley.
Oh my God.
So, I'm pretty sure it was a dude on a trike.
Yeah, and then you also saw somebody who was banged up so bad they had a tarp in front of them so people couldn't see. So, wear your gear, folks. Holy crap, wear your gear.
All right, next up we've got Shippers.
Hey there, Shippers. You are on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hi, sorry, I had a bit of echo listening to the stream. I'm glad you're all safe, giving the news that you gave us in the beginning of the Yamcast.
Yes.
But that sparked me a question, and it's, basically involving my experiences with braking during a ride. My first bike was a NSR 50, so really not that powerful, but it can fix itself pretty quick, when it breaks. And I've had a couple of things break, mostly cables. No, I was basically asking, the question that I was going to ask is if there was anything that, basically not major things breaking on the bike, at least for me. I rode home, and I do not advise this at all, but I really couldn't be bothered with calling the tow truck to get home, breaking the accelerator cable, what was it that broke again? I forgot. So basically, braking, and you needing to bring the bike back home or to the shop. What was the worst thing that you had to do to bring it back? Basically, not a blown up engine, but
yeah,
something.
Well, that's an interesting question. I have done some questionable things off-road to get my bike continuing to run and to do things. I know in Mexico, I had to zip tie a lever back into place and do some other things. And, on the grand scheme of things, relatively easy going. I've never ridden with, no front brake or anything like that. But I think, I've had to zip tie a couple parts back on here and there. Spike, can you remember anything you've had to do?
Mostly with the DRZ.
Yeah.
I've had the carburetor unseat itself from the boot thanks to a vicious backfire. That one was very interesting. I was just out front of a UPS mailing some stuff to a giveaway bike winner. And I went to go start the bike, and there was a massive backfire. It sounded like a gunshot at my knee. And I looked down, and there's a bunch of gas pouring out of the carburetor boot right at the right where it goes into the cylinder. So I just had to bust out my Leatherman and try and smush it back into place long enough for me to get home.
Yeah.
There was also the time, this was before I got the Electron, where we were coming to film a Yamcast, and I rode the DRZ up, and it started to stumble and die, and the battery was so low on it that I had to bump start it down a hill to get it to go, so I could just barely get the bike here, and then it sat here for 4 months.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. And I told you I was going to start charging you rent.
Yep. And then it started running.
Yeah, that's basically most of my experience with that bike. I still have it, but it's now on basically in the garage sitting, because I got a new bike, the CB300 that I have now. But that bike, I have a lot of memories with that one. Laying it down on a roundabout that was basically cobblestone, all wet. Got some leaves in the way, laid it down, got back up again, and it was pissing gas. So I just left it sitting there for a bit, letting it do its thing, and then called the tow truck. Tried to start it. It started, so I just brought it back home again and called it the tow company again to say that don't need it no more. I'm already home. The throttle cable breaking, I think, was the most sketchy thing that I've ever done because
That's very
basically
sketchy. Yeah.
I am not proud of that one. But I really didn't want to call in to the drive-through that I was in. So, I just brought it home. Not really that heavy, so it weighs about 90 kilos. So it's, I don't know what that is in freedom things, but
Yeah.
it's not really that heavy, so yeah, I brought it home. I was just basically asking because I know you do a lot of off-road, and that's where most breaks, not really on the street. So
Yeah, definitely.
basically just a quick question. Well then, I'll leave you to it. I'm glad you're both safe. During the incident that you had.
Yes.
Earlier,
People will find out about it later in the week, but yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Not at all. That's all. Well then, have a great one.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
It reminds me of the meme where it's like the guy's riding, but like he's holding his like throttle, like
Oh God,
yeah,
it's me.
yeah, he's like holding his whole clip on, and he's like, "Hey God, it's me again."
Alrighty, next up we've got Bad Moto Trucker.
Hey there, Bad Moto Trucker. You are on the Yamcast. How's it going, man?
Doing good, guys. If you hear something kind of weird and mechanical in the background, my company truck's right next to me.
Oh, no worries.
Just a couple of quick questions. I'd like to get the 1-to-1 flash, or at least the American spec flash for my my 2015 Speed Triple 1050.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to get the fully adjustable suspension dialed in for my preload.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is a fair price at the Triumph dealership to get that done correctly? Because I have no clue what that should cost, and I really don't want to bend over and assume the position.
Sure. So a flash that you're talking about would probably run you anywhere from $600 to $800 in the aftermarket. I don't know if they will do that at the Triumph dealership, but if they do, anywhere in that ballpark is fair. And then
Plus labor.
Plus the labor, yeah, that's the unfortunate part. And then the other, what was the other mod you wanted to do?
Preload.
I was wanting
to
check
set your suspension. Yeah,
get,
yeah. That shouldn't be more than like $60 to $100 to have someone set that all up for you. At most. If you go to a local track, they usually got a suspension guru there. You just talk to him. He can probably do it for like 40, honestly.
Okay, cool. And while I got you on the phone, I really enjoyed the copy pasta thing the other day. That was great.
Thank you.
I hate that I missed out on understanding what that was prior to when you were supposed to have it submitted. I was like, this is like the damn written copy of what a meme would be in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like memes is something I can't do. So I've enlisted some of the top-notch guys on the Discord. So hopefully there'll be some fruits of that labor soon. But
beautiful.
The copy pasta, I could totally do that.
Well, maybe we got to do another copy pasta meme contest.
I'm sure we'll have some good ones here, good opportunities in the future.
Yes.
Man, I read through some of the ones. Oh my God! And I've actually read some of the comments on the videos you guys make. It's ridiculous.
Yes. The YouTube comments are just the absolute void of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's a perfect display of the worst of humanity, and it's all right there for you guys to enjoy.
Yep.
Hey, thank you guys so much, and I appreciate the info. At least I'll know a ballpark of how bad I'm gonna get hit when I go to the Triumph place.
Yep. Well, best of luck, and let us know how it goes, man.
All right. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night.
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right. Next up, we've got Pussy Boy Official.
Hey there, Pussy Boy Official. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good, good. We're doing a general Q&A, so anything you got, we'll try to tackle it.
So, I really haven't been into bikes for long now, but I've kind of noticed the like top end leader bikes are staying at around 200 horsepower, but they get heavier. Do y'all think this is going to stagnate, or they're just going to be classes of bikes that just get more and more unrideable?
Well, some of them are getting heavier, and some of them are getting lighter. Ducati's got their Superleggera, right? It makes, I think, 240 horsepower, and it weighs 370 pounds ready to ride, which is about 70 pounds lighter than our Fireblade with 25 more horsepower. So, you know, we're kind of edging up to the diminishing returns of performance at this point. I don't really think we can make all the more power we want, but it's at the point where the computers are basically controlling the power output of the engine anyways. So I think we're kind of at the top of the ladder. What do you think, Spite?
Yeah, I mean, 215 horsepower is barely rideable.
Barely, yeah.
240 is going to be, like, unrideable. And then 300, which is probably the number that a lot of people wish we could see, because that's what the GP bikes do. I mean, you literally have to be an alien to ride them.
It spins the tire all the way to 6th gear.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we don't have something that's physically capable of controlling that kind of power.
Yeah, like the tire technology isn't good enough to hold that kind of power to the ground.
And any tire that would just roast itself instantly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of agree. I think we're getting to the point where they're kind of all dumb and unrideable at this point.
Well, I guess that's it. Thank y'all.
There you go. Thanks so much, man.
Sorry, I'm a bit of an idiot.
No, you're not. No worries, man.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Alrighty, next up we've got Phantom 10792.
Hey there, Phantom 10792. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
It's going pretty decent right now.
We are doing a general Q&A today. What have you got for us?
Okay, so I'm in the process of cross-shopping right now. And it came to my attention that you guys still have that MV Agusta. So what would you guys say, comparing MV Agusta, the 800, to like the Gixxis 750?
Are you asking me would I compare those, or how do I compare them?
Yeah, like how would you compare those?
I wouldn't. So the Gixxis 750 is just going to be this bread and butter, standard, awesome inline 4-cylinder naked bike that is like the naked bike of the people, right? And the MV is like this classy Italian spicy little meatball. It's a very different riding experience, and that MV is no joke. That is a fast, crazy motorcycle, especially the RC that we have. It dusted up on a Busa, so it's pretty fast. But yeah, I think that's what I would say. What do you say, Spite?
I mean, damn, that MV all day, every day over the
for sure.
Gixxis,
Yeah, if you have the coin, it is very choice.
Because holy cow, is it just so like. That thing slaps on speed so fast for a naked bike.
Yeah.
Again, we watched it dust up on a Busa. So much so that the owner of the Busa is like, I gotta have a crack at it.
Yeah, fair enough. I was looking at it because, it looks like they seem to have similar specs, at least.
Yeah, kinda, but the MV is definitely the spicier, more interesting bike for sure, but I think it's like at least 2 times the price, though. I think you can get a Gixxis 750 for like $7,600.
Yeah, all day.
Which is crazy.
Once again, Suzuki's to just under budget, over fun.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the whole thing. Do I want to get the MV and have the bespokeness, or do I want to squid around on a Suzuki?
That is a choice that you have to make, my friend. We cannot tell you.
Except the fact that 3 out of 4 of the riding people here at Yami Noob have Suzukis in their stable.
I have 2 Suzukis.
So does Josh.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Tough choices, man. You got to let us know which way the wind blows for you.
Right. All right, guys. Much appreciated.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, guys, that's going to wrap up our call-in section of the podcast. We're now going to move on to the meme contest. Roasting 600cc riders. Going to be a good one. Stick around. All right, folks, it is that time of the week, the meme contest. Everybody loves the meme contest. Today we are dunking on 600cc riders. So if you've got an R6, you've got a Gixxer 600, you've got, if it just so pleases you, a CBR 600RR, we are coming for you. We're about to roast you.
Or perhaps a Daytona 675R.
No, we're not. No, not those. They are exempt. All right.
So, starting us off this week, we have Hohana Yamada.
But inherently low qual, though, right? Like,
so I think it's safe to assume that both of these guys have ridden 600s, and I'm a little salty, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it counts. Now, I know we all love our boys Yimmy Nib and good old Spitty Titty, but they have led you astray. They are secret nerds. And I have proof. I got 2 words for you. Call Edge. Wait. Whatever. Anyways, you know who goes to college? Nerds. Yemi literally has an Only Nerds where he goes to talk about economics with his glasses on. And then there's Mr. State Farm himself. He's a simp for Harleys, right? You know who likes Harleys? Dentists. Dentists care for your teeth. You know who cares for their teeth? Nerds. And am I stupid, or do they have an oddly good vocabulary? Don't answer that. But really though, I find myself looking up words they say, and English is Yami's second language. And don't even get me started on how they love their safety equipment. I want to feel like
open my window and a breeze rolls in and just ate a grape and
now I'm dead! But I died like a man. And you know how they're always talking about 200 horsepower like it's fast? My old Pontiac Bonneville had 200 horsepower. It ain't Aw, now look at them wanting to talk to me about ratios and math. Fucking nerds. And yes, I know they have nothing against nerds. It's all for fun. Calm down.
okay. Good entry.
That was like from the perspective of a 600cc rider right there.
Yes. That was like if a YouTube comment came to life almost, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked it. That was good.
So, quality. Or I guess we could call this creativity as well. I'm just going to change that real quick.
Yeah.
There we go.
It was a well-written little script.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of my old list videos with the photos and stuff and the bad Photoshop.
Went out and grabbed a bunch of B-roll shots.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty creative. I think an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
Funniness.
Pretty funny. I got a good chuckle out of some of those lines. I think the one he called you a spitty titty, right? That's pretty good. How about a 7?
A 7.
Yeah.
That's a 15 for Honaha Yamada. Next up, we've got Searcher.
It says, when you're the first in a crew to ascend from a 600 pleb to a leader bike. And then go back, it was like a bunch of guys like holding up the plane and being like the boys, like cheering them on and stuff, right?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
So, for Searcher, creativity.
I've seen this format before, pretty known. How about a 6?
A 6. And funniness.
I think a 5, middle of the road. Yeah.
Next up, we got Millennial Malaise.
Oh, heavy hitter. Going on Facebook Marketplace.
do it! No, don't do it! No! No, don't do it! No!
Oh, son of a bitch. He's done it again.
Did you see that it was like 15,000?
Yeah,
it's
and he's just
163
like,
miles an hour.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
That was swinging for the fences right there.
Yeah. We know what the score is, don't we?
I think so.
Yep.
Creativity.
It's a 10.
Yup.
That was extremely good.
And funniness.
It's a 10.
Yup. That was
Millennial Malaise, a 20 for you. That is excellently done. I knew it was coming. It still got me so good. That was so good.
Man, that's a tough act to follow.
It's very tough to follow.
Let's see what Chris RGB has here.
Squid Game or something. I don't know. I didn't watch the show. So he doesn't know I can go 186 miles an hour. I love that it's an old, what are those, the Thundercats?
Yeah, that's the Thundercat. That's the YZF 600R.
Yeah. Because there was a world and a time in which Yamaha had an R6 and a 600R. Mm-hmm. And they were like, wait, what? What are we doing?
And then they realized that both of them suck on the street.
Yeah, they're like, wait, hold on a sec. We got to make one suck less and one suck a lot. That's pretty funny. I like that. Yep. I like this format where it's like something popular and says, I don't know, or something, or you know what I mean?
Yep.
Those are usually pretty good.
All right, for Chris RGB here, creativity.
I think a 7. I liked it was pretty creative.
A 7. Yeah. I agree. And funniness?
I think a 6.
A 6. That's a 13. Next up, we've got Crockpot. Or Crackpot. I can't read it.
I like Crockpot. It says a Honda Grom, and then your ZX6, and then the bike she told you not to worry about.
Is that
it looks like a
Z900 RS?
No, I
Z900.
think it's a Z900. I see several cylinders, or at least, well, yeah. It's not a Z400, is it?
No, because I see at least 2 cylinders, and a bike that ugly with at least 2 cylinders is probably the Z900.
Yeah, and it's too narrow to be an H2.
Yeah.
Funny. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of showing that it's like, you know, like 600s basically look like Groms to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Okay.
So, for Crockpot, creativity.
I think a 6.
A 6?
Yeah.
And funniness.
I think a 5.
I think a 5.
Yeah.
German A2 boy is up next. Another heavy hitter.
I don't know if you can. Love the Daytona's just a bucket. It was never good, and it's fine. It's fine, guys. It's still a really fun track bike. We can't say it's championship winning because it's really not, but it's really fun and nice to ride.
Makes a good sound.
Makes a great sound.
What did the guy say that your bike sounds like at the track?
A hate crime. Because I got the full system and I got a hole in my end can, so it's basically just straight piped.
All right, for German A2 boy, creativity here.
I liked it. I think an 8.5 or a 9.
An 8.5.
Yeah.
And funniness.
I think a 9. It got a good
solid
chuckle.
9.
Yeah, good chuckle out of me.
That's a 17.5, solid second place there. Next up, we've got KTM Pyre 1987.
Says 600 riders dragging the ear on the cul-de-sac. I am speed. Yep. Very, very true.
Alrighty. Creativity there.
I liked it. I think a 6.5.
A 6.5.
Yeah.
And funniness.
7. Good chuckle.
I agree.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Toaster Stridswagen.
.600cc riders when the cops ask him how fast they were going.
Yeah.
And it's like F1 drivers like coming on the scene. It's pretty good. I like it.
All right, creativity there.
How about a 6.5?
A 6.5.
Yeah.
And funniness.
I think a 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
That's 12.5. Next up, we've got Lampis.
Okay, so 600 riders flying to the supermarket, running away from life. It says adventure riders enjoying the long way around to Starbucks and savoring the moment. Okay. It's kind of saying that 600 riders are running away from their problems and adventure riders are better. Maybe he's an adventure boy and he's like, I gotta tell people I'm better. You know?
I have a feeling he's probably a BMW rider.
That's very possible. Very, very possible.
All right, so for Lampis here, creativity.
I think a 5.
5.
I don't think he understood the assignment.
Yep. And funniness.
5, middle of the road.
Yep.
Didn't really do much.
That's a 10. Last up, we've got Pussy Boy Official with this one.
Butterfly meme classic says 600 boys says uncomfortable torque deficient race bike with headlights. Is this a daily? Nice. Yeah.
I like that one.
That's very good. Yeah.
The problem is I got off the R6 and I was like, my commute is like 10 minutes on 35. I could make the excuse.
I am very surprised that the R6 tugged at your heartstrings the way it did.
It's just the sound, man.
Yeah, I think the R6 and the R1 have tugged at your strings. All right, Pussy Boy Official. Creativity. I think that was a 6.5.
A 6.5.
Yeah.
Kind of a known format.
Yep.
Funniness.
I think a 7.5. Got a good chuckle out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14.
All right, so obviously a friggin' Millennial Malaise dude just coming in with the haymaker.
Absolutely crushed it.
Jesus Christ. You're definitely reposting that on Instagram. That was hilarious.
Yes. That was awesome. Then number 2 goes to German A2 boy.
Surprise, surprise.
Back on the podium.
And now third place is Honaha Yamada.
Yep. With that first video entry of basically the rebuttal of the 650 or 600 boy. None of those people are on cooldown, I don't believe.
I don't think so.
We're all good to go.
Fresh prizes for all you guys. Very good. Alrighty, folks, thank you so much for tuning into the Yamcast. Remember, if you want to support the show, head on over to yamanoob.co, become a member, sign up, join our Discord. It is a ton of fun, and you won't regret it. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later.